Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with another Pittsburgh Steelers analysis and recap of their Week 17 loss to the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers finished their season at 12-4 with a 24-22 defeat to the Browns on Sunday. And as I'm sure you're aware by now, the Steelers and Browns will meet each other next weekend. We do not know dates and times as of this recording at Heinz Field, though, for Wild Card Weekend. Last time the Browns were in the playoffs, 2002, also against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers came back in that one to win it 36-33. So let's talk about briefly what happened on Sunday. Overall, for the Steelers defense, it was kind of the concerns that you had going into this game, knowing you didn't have Cam Hayward, TJ Watt. You were playing some of your backup rotational defensive linemen typically. And could you stop the Browns' run game? And largely they did not. They ran for what I think a buck 90 or so, average over 6 yards per carry. Nick Chubb went for 100 plus yards, and Baker Mayfield had the game sealing conversion on third down, 3rd and 1, to seal the win for Cleveland. So that was the big thing. Chubb obviously starts the game with a 47-yard touchdown. Cam Sutton misses a tackle. Minka Fitzpatrick misses a tackle. And Chubb's just one of the best backs in football. To me, he may be the best back in football. I mean, he just is so explosive, so big, hits that crease and gets downhill and just really hard to take down in open space. And so Mayfield got in a roll in the passing game in the second half. At one point, completed, I think, at least 10 straight passes and had some backups in again. I understand that this was not a game entirely played by backups, and Minka played the entire game. For example, you can debate or not whether that was a good idea, and there certainly were a lot of starters, but you're missing your key pieces, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, obviously, so that's going to impact you. But just to recognize the fact that whenever you play the Browns next weekend, um, stopping the run still going to be tough, and that's going to be the number one goal. In this run defense has certainly suffered with the losses of Devin Bush and Bud Dupree. We'll see if they get a guy like Robert Spillane back. Hopefully, they will, but we don't know. And regardless, I mean, stopping the Browns' run game, and so they can't run play action, some of their boots off of it, or at least it's tougher to do, is going to be one of the big keys in this one. On the positive side, though, Alex Highsmith continues to get better every single week with more reps, more playtime, more experience. Jedrick Wills, the Browns' left tackle, has had a really good rookie year himself, but Highsmith seemed to win over and over. Had a sack, another pressure that led to a Stephon Tuitt sack, and so Hayward or Highsmith, I should say, really been impressive. And I think you can pretty much write his name in pen as the Steelers' right outside linebacker for Week 1 next season. On offense for Mason Rudolph, there was a lot of good. There certainly was some bad and some warts in this game that'll probably never be corrected enough. Whenever he has a clean pocket, I mean, this guy can make some really big plays, and you certainly saw progression from last season. That is undeniable. It's not unexpected either, given you would expect a third-year guy to learn from mistakes made last year and improve. But the deep ball was fantastic, and for a Steelers offense that has been starved for the deep ball, for most of the season, if not all the entire season. That was refreshing to see deep balls to Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool and push the ball vertically. And you knew Rudolph was not going to be able to do the quick 1 and 3 step game consistently the way Ben could and lead these long 10 to 12 to 15 play drives. You were going to have to hit some big plays, especially versus a Brown secondary that did come into this game pretty depleted, missing their top corner in Denzel Ward. So that was good to see. I thought Rudolph's ball placement accuracy on all routes, all throws was impressive, better than where it was last year. He took more shots downfield, which was nice to see. Obviously, though, once he gets under pressure, you see a much different version of Mason Rudolph, and every quarterback struggles more when they're under pressure, clearly, but Rudolph probably even more significantly so. And you saw in the interception and some other moments there where, in terms of just pocket presence and awareness and internal clock and obviously overall mobility, very limited there. Still struggles there when there's heat. He really gets himself into some bad situations. And will those things improve? Maybe a little, but enough to really justify him as the heir or anything in terms of a starting quarterback? Probably not, almost certainly not. But you saw impressive things from Rudolph today, and overall, not a perfect performance by any means. And there are certainly valid criticisms of Mason Rudolph, but I was happy with his performance overall. Saw some Josh Dobbs in specialty situations, some option type plays. Will we see that going forward? I mean, I doubt he'll be active against the Browns, so probably not. And Tomlin kind of teased it, but I think he was just humoring the question of could you see that with Dobbs going forward? But that was certainly an element of it. The run game was a little bit better. James Conner is the best creator of any Steelers running back on the roster, and so he certainly created a couple plays himself today. And it's still a big concern that going forward. I mean, you'll get Pouncey back for next week, and that's a positive, but running the ball efficiently, effectively, situationally, still going to be big. problem areas for this team going forward. If you take out Josh Dobbs' runs, because he's not going to play against the Browns in all likelihood, this team averaged about 3.6 yards per carry, which for them is good, but still overall, it's a pretty poor number. Did like the contributions of Kevin Rader first game, and he played like it. Played with his hair on fire. Two special teams tackles. Blocking was good. There was effort. He was finishing plays and all that. So maybe this guy can get a helmet against the Browns next week, even if Ebron is able to play and give you something as a blocker. That's a possibility. Elsewhere, as receivers, Deontay Johnson, a couple of big plays downfield. Juju, a couple catches, third down, very trusty guy, like he's been the entire season. And Chase Claypool just continues to set or tie records. Is now tied Franco Harris, Louis Lips for the most touchdowns by a Steelers rookie in a season with 11, and Chase Claypool has set the Steelers record for most receptions by a rookie, setting or breaking the record and surpassing Troy Edwards of 61, set in 1999. Claypool finished the year with 62. I believe, and that came on his. He tied the record of Franco and Lips and broke Edwards' record on that touchdown catch deep down the right sideline. So, a very good note for him to go out on in that sense. And then quickly, special teams, Matthew Wright did well. The big issue with Wright that I've had with him was leg strength, going back to his first camp in 2019 with Pittsburgh. And he was really good today. Two 46 yarders. They were pretty much money with a little bit of room to spare. So that's good to see. So if Chris Boswell cannot play against the Browns next weekend, hopefully he can. I think he'll be able to, but we'll see what the setback, if he suffered a setback this past week in practice, that'll complicate things clearly. But I think Wright gave you some more confidence, at least if you need a big kick from him, he could be capable of doing it, but let's hope Boz is back for the playoffs. So finally, overall, you look at this 12-4 record. You're happy with that. You're happy about winning the North, becoming the three seed, having at least one home playoff game. You're disappointed that you started the season 11-0, you finish at 12-4. That's not promising. Obviously, you understand the context of why this team lost today, and theoretically, if you sit there and say they lost by two with out Ben and Watt and Hayward, if you play all those guys, do you win? On paper, in theory, you probably do. But we'll get to find out basically this upcoming weekend against Cleveland. Again, that's going to be a really fun matchup to break down. Third time seeing these teams. These teams know each other extremely well. Not a lot to hide. Who's going to bust out that new wrinkle to maybe surprise and give them the edge? Who's going to play more mistake-free football? Who's going to be able to run the ball better? Cleveland probably going to run the football better, but can Pittsburgh slow down that run game? A lot of cool matchups to watch. It's going to be a big game for sure. Excited for Pittsburgh to be back in the playoffs, the first time since 2017, and obviously, Browns fans are happy to be back in the playoffs since 2002. So crazy streak. There are Browns fans watching this team in the playoffs for the first time in their lives. So going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to preview and break down this game with you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you soon.